I found the dumbest escapist of all time. After making my debunk video on CWAT Gaming, he explained to me that there were several wannabe CWAT channels out there that copied his escape video style. Problem is, most of them do it 1,000 times worse. And the worst of them all, a YouTuber named Omziscool. Not only does this kid make the dumbest decisions possible in all his videos, but I have proof that some of his escapes aren't even valid. He's so bad that even faking his escape videos isn't enough to get him through his own escape rooms. As of this recording, our friend Oms has 6 prison escape videos on his channel, and somehow, each one of them is worse than the last. So let's begin.
I escaped the hardest Minecraft prison ever made, the Peen Prison. And I know that's a very weird name, and the build itself is pretty weird, but I wasn't the one who made it. So my friend built me a prison that he said was unescapable. And when I looked on my right side, I saw a crafting table in the middle of the air, and there was nothing I could have done, so I just fell down. I found out that there was a spider in cage, and I found a sign that said here pointing down, so I assumed I had to get a redstone block or something to power that area. I found a chest right under the platform I was on, but it was too high to reach, so I knew I had to get a block to reach it. And right next to it was a crafting table, and I was able to reach it to craft, but I was not able to break it down. But the drop to get there was 5 blocks down, and I had no blocks to get back up, and there was only 2 snow blocks inside. And when I went back, I found 3 wooden planks. I decided to go to the room that was on the right. I opened the chest, and it was a wooden sword inside, and right underneath was a crafting table. And I decided to craft the only thing I could, which was a wooden shovel. So I took his head and realized this was the only way to escape, because I needed the snow golem to make snow for me so I could take it to make snow blocks and escape. So when I spawned in the snow golem, I pushed him all around so he would spawn some snow on the floor. And after I picked it all up, I was able to get 20 snowballs. But when I killed the spider, it dropped multiple string, but it was only 2, and it wasn't enough to craft a piece of wool.
So his looting spider puzzle actually ended up failing since he didn't get enough string, which forced him to actually do something practical. Something he knew was possible but just ignored because he wanted to do his puzzle.
And when I turned around, I saw that it opened a hole in the wall. Completely empty except for a furnace and what seemed to be a crafting table in the middle of the room. And I tried to click on the crafting table, but it was too high up for me to stay in it. Only a water bucket can break the bedrock block. So I threw my water bucket and it worked.
Oh no, I have to give my water bucket away. That's so sad. I miss it already. This is a tragedy.
And on the top there was barriers, so there was no way I could go in. And then to my left was a small room with a golden pressure plate. And the only way to be able to activate it is with an entity. And the villager was trading a torch for a crafting table, and I just happened to have a torch from the last chest. But then I came to some bigger problems than the stick. I was stuck in this area. There was no way for me to come back. Every attempt I did to try and escape would just lead to me almost dying.
But then I had a very good idea. I used F5. See, using F5 gave me a whole new perspective and I was able to see a chest I couldn't have seen before.
An ender pearl, and I was so happy.
Oh, pretty convenient that chest is there. I mean, it wasn't in this scene, and it wasn't in this scene either. Pretty nice of the map to just generate a chest with a pearl if you trap yourself. Nah, Oms didn't soft lock himself and then have to cheat in an already faked escape video just to get out. Yeah, so if you're wondering what that nightmare of an escape video was, it gets worse.
I escaped the hardest Minecraft server ever, the sus prison. And it was a golden pressure plate that linked to some redstone. And it was covered by barrier blocks, so there was no way I could break it. And it led to an area covered by a piston and a netherite block.
As Master Mithridac once said, don't forget the F3 plus T trick.
And this looked to be the exit of the prison. And it looked like I needed to get an ender pearl or some way to cross the snow path to escape. But this wasn't any normal snow. It was powdered snow. So I put together that I had to get an item to throw on the pressure plate to activate the piston to open it. But there was no items I could get anywhere in this room. And I went in F5 to see if I missed anything.
But then I had a very good idea. I used F5. See, using F5 gave me a whole new...
And what I saw was a 2-block tall bedrock jump with a fence in the middle of a room. And right next to it was a water block surrounded by barrier blocks. And right next to that was another room with a hopper on top of a stair pad. And I assumed in that hopper was an item, like a block. So then if I got that block, I would be able to jump over the 2-block high bedrock wall. And these stairs were stairs. These blocks were right on the exact spot the stairs showed me. I had slack in me. But the thing is, I had the power. But I realized I actually did. I used all the inventory. I used the hopper, so I got the stairs. I got the water dump, and I got the stairs. I was right here. Sprint forward while the cannon was pushing me out. Put it in and put it out. Let's go!
Yeah, you don't even have to be good at parkour to get out of here. It only takes a couple blocks. Is this not the first thing people would try for an escape? At the very least, I'd come up with this sooner than, whatever this is.
I was now able to go to the other room and get the fence. Once I went in this room, there was no way for me to get out. And when I opened it, it had a bedrock. So now I was able to go inside the room, grab the fence, and leave with ease. But with no other options, I decided to just go down in the water and go to the next room. So when I got to the other side, I saw a chest, and inside that chest was a diamond pickaxe. And this diamond pickaxe was exactly... But while I was searching, I decided to pick up the crafting table and the furnace. And underneath the furnace was a hopper. And in this hopper was a boat. So that meant I was able to get back into the main room.
But actually, if you mine the hopper below that, you'll find modified booster rockets and Crisp's wings, which you can use to bypass every puzzle and escape the map. How do I know that? I don't, because he never breaks the hopper. Why doesn't he break the hopper? Because he knows there's nothing down there. How does he know there's nothing under the hopper? I wonder. I'll shut up now. It's time for part 3.
I escaped the hardest Minecraft prison ever made. The Peen Prison V2. The only thing I could see was the exit of the room and a random block of ice. I found out that there was a hopper right under me. And when I opened the hopper, it had 6 bamboo and 2 string. And then I realized that I can craft a fishing rod. And this fishing rod was exactly what I needed to escape the room. When I pulled it up, it came to me. So now I had an ice block, a fishing rod, and a crafting table. But with just these items, I had no idea what I could do. And I broke the crafting table. But when I broke the crafting table, I found out that there was a secret hopper behind it. And inside the hopper was another iron ingot. And this iron ingot was exactly what I needed to escape the room.
But then I had a very good idea. I used F3. See, using F3 allowed me to see that the hopper wasn't enabled, meaning it can't pick up items. Why would it be this way? It must mean there's a container above it. Sure enough, at the top I found all of my escape kits, available to download in my Discord server. I used the kits to spawn a wither, just for fun, and then I flew away to freedom. Haha, just kidding, we don't know that those escape kits were there, cause he never broke the hopper.
Now I was able to place it right above the block and swim underneath. And when I got into the room, first one had a dropper block and a hallway next to it. I tried to jump and see what was inside, but I couldn't reach it. So I tried to pick up the water, but no matter what angle I went at, I was not able to pick it up. And I started to believe that I was gonna fail at a prison called the Peen 2, and I was not gonna let that happen. So I had to use my brain.
But then I had a very good idea. I used F5. See, using F5 gave me a whole new perspective and I was able to see a chest I couldn't have seen before.
I drank the potion and went through the lava. And the room on the other side was completely empty other than the chest. So I decided to go back and hit the button. And then I heard the dispenser from the other room activate. And I found out that water started flowing down. And I went to the top and I decided to see what was inside the dispenser. And inside was another sticky piston. But then before I activated it, I realized that I didn't need to do any of this. All that I had to do was just get the water from the dispenser and then I would be able to cross the giant hole.
Look at this. Oms knows his own escape room is flawed. Again. And he doesn't care. He just wants to make a fun shot of him making the flying machine that doesn't even end up working. Who's this absolute clown on my screen?
So my friend Korean invited me to his Minecraft server. And when I joined, he immediately started to hit me with his sword. And he punched me into a hole leading all the way to the void. And seeing that this room was completely made out of bedrock, that means that Korean used creative mode. So escaping this would be extremely difficult.
Oh no, creative mode. This whole time I thought the other escape rooms were made legit.
And I decided to go in F5 mode to see if I missed it.
But then I had a very good idea. I used F5.
I decided to break the one that I was on top of. And on the ledge, I saw a hopper. And inside the hopper was 3 cobbled deep slate and 1 ender pearl. And then I decided to go into the room, but it was just an empty hallway. And I found a hopper with a phantom membrane. And just as I was about to leave, I noticed that there was another hopper all the way on top. And inside was blaze powder and an awkward potion.
These are honestly well thought out puzzles. I mean, go into a room and just get all the items you need? It was genius. Although I do respect Korean for keeping the puzzles on a difficulty level for Oms.
So I threw my pearl to the other side of the room, and as I was going to the crafting table, I realized something weird. There was an invisible wall that was between me and the way out. So that means that I couldn't just place blocks and jump into the exit. But then I remembered where I saw a crafting table. It was the one we saw in the first room we were in. And all I had to do now was somehow find a way to reach that crafting table. And then I crafted my flint and iron into a flint and steel, went inside the TNT, and lighted them all up at the same time. And the TNT launched me all the way to the top of the room.
Evidence number 2 that these escapes are not just faked, but they're invalid. My guy turns on his tasks for one scene and then lights all the TNT simultaneously. Then he survives with half health despite having no armor. This is impossible on any difficulty, meaning Oms has some kind of resistance or a game rule that's keeping him alive. I actually used the armor in the chest to protect myself, and a redstone torch I saved from the other room, which means technically speaking, I've become the first person to complete this escape room validly.
I escaped the hardest Minecraft world. Right in this hall, there was a hopper, and inside the hopper was 3 bricks. And I had no idea how I was supposed to get all the way to that chest with only 3 bricks, because there were slabs above me, so that meant that I wasn't able to jump. So I opened the crafting table to see what I could craft. And I found out that with the 3 bricks, I could craft 6 brick slabs. So I crafted the brick slabs and I placed them all on top of the lava. Inside the chest was 9 stones, but I had no idea what I was supposed to craft with 9 stones. So I checked in my inventory what I was able to craft, and there was nothing that could help me. But when I did, nothing opened or activated. So I went in F5 mode to see what was on the other side.
But then I had a very good...
I counted that the bedrock wall was at least 13 blocks high, and I only had 10 blocks in total. So I was extremely confused as to what I had to do. I found a secret hopper with a moss block inside. So I placed my 9 stone in the middle of the hole and placed my moss block right next to it. And using my bone meal, I would be able to make more moss blocks and even these moss block carpets. So now I had 10 moss blocks and 5 moss block carpets. Then I used all my blocks to build up all the way to the top of the bedrock wall. Now I was able to see what was on the other side of the wall. And right in front of me was the exit sign. Freedom was so close. And I'm not sure what this meant, but I knew that everything Korean makes always connect together somehow. So I needed 3 of something. So I placed my piston and the slime block and the trap chest right next to it. And then I opened the trap chest and quickly exited out of my inventory. And I had no idea how any of these items were supposed to help me reach the exit. And in that hopper, it had 1 bedrock block, a slot with 8 string, and a slot with 3 string. And then I realized that sand can turn into glass. And all we needed for that was a furnace. So I decided to look around the rooms to see if there was a hidden furnace somewhere.
You might be thinking, what? Glass? What do you need glass for? A bottle? Glass panes? A beacon? No, he's using the glass for parkour. See, it didn't occur to him that he can do sand parkour, which genuinely isn't that hard, and if you fail, you can always try again. But you don't have to do sand parkour, you can just build up with sand and do the slime block trick he forgot about. You can collect some of the moss carpets and slime jump from here and then build up. Let's not forget, if he knew how to conserve resources at all, he would have already escaped. Nothing that Oms does matters. Since the beginning, he's been given dozens of opportunities to escape, but he stays so he can complete all the pointless, meaningless, mindless little puzzles in the map. He's just playing around in a bedrock room with no stakes. At least Siwat's videos showed clever mechanics and often required, you know, some problem solving skills. Omziscool escape rooms just mean nothing. And if you still don't believe me, Let's see the final room.
I escaped the Minecraft nether, but right in front of me, I saw 2 bedrock blocks and a sign that said escape portal is down. Then I right-clicked it and it moved. So then I decided to try and punch it to see what would happen. And when I did, it fell off. So then I opened the chest and I found 2 iron nuggets and 3 cobblestone. And with no other options, I decided to go into F5 mode.
But then I had a very
Credit where it's due, this is probably Omziscool's best puzzle. To summarize for this video, basically he finds a way to break the iron block so he can get it from the hopper to himself, and then he makes some rails and a minecart. Not the best puzzle, but pretty good. Surely the rest of the escape room will hold up to the same standard.
Then I hopped into the minecart and clutched my way down to the bottom so I wouldn't take any fall damage. So I decided to place a rail right next to the hole. And I broke my minecart and placed the minecart on the rail so I could just ride inside of the hole and not take any fall damage. But the minecart just wouldn't fit. And when I kept messing with it, I actually fell into the hole. And right in front of me was a room with the piece of obsidian I needed to light up the portal and escape the nether. And inside that room was a strider and an ender pearl. But when I opened my inventory, I realized that I can craft 4 end rods, which were just the right amount of blocks I needed to get into the hallway. So I built up with all the end rods and hopped into the hallway. And when I got into the last room, I saw the last diamond was right in front of me. And in between me and the diamond was a giant lava path. And I thought that I could just place my end rods on top of the lava to get to the diamond. But this turned out to be a huge mistake, because when I placed all my end rods, they just burnt into the lava. I turn around to look behind me, but it was just a bedrock wall. But then I started to think, what if the sign that said behind was talking about the door? So I opened the door and next to it was a hopper. But I landed in the lava and my hearts kept going down and it was almost over for me. But I was able to swim out with only 4 hearts left and I survived. I didn't have any sticks to make it, so I had to find 2 sticks to be able to break that obsidian block. So I started looking everywhere for 2 sticks. But as I was looking down at the hole, I realized that there was a hidden hopper right next to me. And inside the hopper was 7 bone meal and 2 sticks.
I'm done. I'm sick of this. I've already solved this puzzle several times over. This escape room isn't even decent. He just finds items in lava and wastes time. So from all these videos, you probably deduced that Omziscool is a moron. But I'm here to disagree, actually. See, a moron wouldn't do the things that Omz is doing. I'm doing the things a moron would do. A moron wouldn't struggle with these puzzles. No, Omz is just a fraud. He thinks most of his audience is too stupid to know how lazy and uncreative and embarrassingly sad his escape rooms are, and to be fair, if your audience is dumb, then they won't tell you how miserably fake you're being. But Omz fans, are you really this dumb? No, of course not. No one on the planet is as dumb as the character Omz is playing. So, instead of letting another soulless creator rise through the algorithm, let's gain an IQ point or 2 more than Omz and not do that. Actually, you know what? Do whatever you want. Good night.